Hello everyone. In this video, I am going to show you how you can generate a PDF using HTML content. So I have created a item in a SharePoint list. So this is my list with the name SOC, which is having multiple different types of fields, be it single line of text, be it choice column, lookup column, and at the same time I have some multiple line of text column with enhanced rich text property. So in my scenario, I am going to use this particular record or this particular item of SharePoint. I am going to create a HTML out of it, and then HTML, that particular HTML, I am going to convert it to PDF. So in your scenario, it might happen that sometimes you have a SharePoint record, SharePoint list item, and ultimately you want to generate a PDF using an automated flow. Here I am not recommending instant flow, because if you are going to use the instant flow, and let's say if you are using a premium any action in Power Automate, then all the users who are using this instant flow need the premium license, which is not a recommended practice. So what I'm suggesting here is please focus on automated flow, create automated flow so that you can run that automated flow or execute that automated flow with one account, or only let's say one service account which is having the premium license. So that's what I'm going to do now. So this is a SharePoint list item, SharePoint list record, which I'm going to use first, convert it in HTML. So let's see this in action. This is the Power Automate flow. My trigger is when item is created or modified. Same list I am using, which is SOC. Now I've created here two variables just for the demo purpose, so that I can let you understand that why I've created two different types of HTML. In this variable, I am using the HTML or creating the HTML. You can see here this is a complete HTML, and I'm passing the parameters dynamically as the placeholders from my SharePoint list item in this HTML. So you can see here this is a div structure. For example, div class equal to rich box, model year value because it's a choice column or a lookup column. That's why I'm passing a model year value here, and I'm closing the div structure. So that is how in this particular HTML I am passing the values dynamically basically, and I'm closing the HTML here. So this is one type of variable which is not having as such header or footer in this scenario. But in my scenario, I wanted a PDF, and that PDF should have multiple pages. PDF will be generated obviously because of the large content with multiple pages, and in all the pages the header and footer should come. So that was my scenario. So what I did, I created one more variable just for this demo purpose. Again the same thing, HTML content new is the name of the variable, type is a string, and this time what I've done in my HTML is I have used some header and footer tags of HTML. So you can see I have used some header, engine application summary, and I have used some footer as well. So that is how I have created this HTML. I will put this HTML in my GitHub if you really want to see what kind of HTML I have created for this demo, or this scenario. But just to let you know, if I let's say generate this HTML, how this HTML will look like, that's what I want to show you. So this HTML will look like this, having some header. You can see this is the header, and this is the output which I will see. All these are the dynamic values which are passed in the HTML in Power Automate flow, and this is the footer. Just to let you know, if you are trying or playing around with native HTML, passing the native HTML in Power Automate, you cannot have the dynamic page numbers. So page numbers cannot be dynamic in native HTML to PDF conversion. But if you really want this, then there are some other third-party connectors or premium connectors which are available, through which you can generate the page numbers as well dynamically. So I've used it in my scenarios. It could be Encodian, it could be Muhimbi, it could be Plum Sale, or you can have your own .NET API wrapper which can be called from Power Automate, and then the PDF can be generated. So there are many scenarios or many approaches basically through which you can generate the PDF using Power Automate, using let's say Azure maybe functions, or you can also generate the PDF by using Power Automate flows, or maybe by passing let's say different type of input parameters. The input parameter could be a SharePoint list item, HTML content, byte array or JSON data. So all this is possible in Power Automate flow. So let's go back to the Power Automate flow. So this is the HTML content which I am going to pass to generate the PDF. Now I am using a create file action which will ultimately generate the HTML file first of all. So this is just the HTML variable which I created, or the plain and vanilla native HTML I created in a variable, and then I'm creating a HTML file out of it. So I'm passing the HTML content here, HTML content new, which is my variable 2. Okay, so this is how I'm first creating the HTML file in SharePoint library, which is shared document. Now I'm getting the file content using path. This is required for the following up actions of OneDrive of create file and convert file. That's why I'm getting the file content using this action, get file content using path. And then I'm creating a HTML file again in OneDrive with within a folder which is called Word template. File name is sample. Let's say any file name you can give. Again, I'm creating a HTML file in the OneDrive, and then I'm converting the file to PDF. Why I'm doing this is because this particular action, convert file, needs the file to be in OneDrive. If my file is in SharePoint, then the convert file cannot convert the file to PDF. So I'm converting the file using this convert file OneDrive action. File, I'm passing the ID of the previous action, and target type, you can pass any, you can choose any target type, PDF, GLB, HTML. In my case, it is PDF, so I'm choosing the PDF. Finally, once the PDF is generated, what I want to do is I want to send an email to some of the recipient or to multiple recipients. I'm passing the two parameter here, which is me. In this case, this is my email address, subject, any random subject, body, anything body. I'm just using test PDF. The important thing is the attachment. So what I'm doing here is that I'm passing the attachment as well. You can see file name and attachment content as the body of the previous action, which is convert file action. So from the convert file action, I am getting the attachment content, and from the convert file action itself, I am getting the attachment name or file name itself. So that is how I have implemented this flow. Let me repeat it once again. I am just creating a HTML first of all, a static HTML with the dynamic placeholder which I am passing from my trigger action, which is SharePoint trigger action. And then I'm creating a file, a HTML file, getting the file content. Using that file content, I am again creating the HTML file using the OneDrive action, because the convert file OneDrive action needs the file, the HTML file, to be in OneDrive. That's why I am putting my file using, or creating my file using OneDrive action create file, and then I'm converting the file using PDF in a PDF target type, and then I'm sending this PDF in an email attachment. So this is my scenario, the particular scenario which I have shown you. Let's save this flow. I'm just saving this flow now. The flow is just getting saved. You can see here what will happen. The output of this is that ultimately an email will be sent with the PDF attachment. That's the ultimate goal of this particular flow. So let's test this. I am using an automatic trigger, which is, or let's say I can use a manual trigger or automatic trigger with a recently used trigger which has been used previously, and I'm clicking on test. So that once I click on test, this flow will execute, and it will generate first the HTML file, and then it will generate the HTML file in OneDrive. It will convert that HTML file into PDF, and then ultimately it will send an email to the email recipient with PDF attachment. So our flow is getting executed. You can see here the flow ran successfully, which means all the actions have been executed successfully. And in this case, I must have received an email. So you can see this email I have received now. So this is my Outlook inbox. I have received one email, test PDF using HTML, and I have received a PDF file. I can see this PDF file, and you can see how good the PDF has been generated with proper header on each page. You can see I have a header on each page, and footer is also there on each page. However, the page numbers cannot come dynamically in a native HTML to PDF conversion that I already explained you earlier in this video. So that's all. We can generate a PDF. So this is the second video. Just to let you know, this is the second video on the PDF generation which I've created. I will put the link of the first video in the comment section or the description section of this particular video. Thanks a lot for watching.